Hello there, great person, and welcome back to Let's Dive into Warhammer 40K. So, we are through with all the factions. I did videos on all the factions and deep dives, and now we can finally go to Bricky and see what he's telling us about this world. And yeah, I know he has many jokes. I will just enjoy this, laugh my ass off probably. And yeah, can't wait to do this. And you've been asking for it as well. At least some of you have. And let's just have some fun with this. And can't wait to see what he tells me. And I might learn more than I already know as well. So let's just go have some fun. And after that, we will do more deep dives into more topics that are a bit like a niche, perhaps. Like I think Mechanicus is on the list, perhaps. Some people suggested Exterminatus, and I will just do a poll after this one is done. And the video is 51 minutes. I think I will probably cut it together this time a bit. Like I will not complete, like, because I would be here 4 hours or whatever if I commented on everything. You know how I am. But anyway, if you like the original video, of course, like his stuff, and it's in the description. And if you like this reaction, of course, consider liking, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. But we're just gonna get into this now and enjoy some Bricky. Let's go. Okay, this good sir seems to be Bricky. Hello, Bricky. I hope you will tell me lots of stuff and make me laugh. And let's go.
So, hello everybody. My name is Bricky. And
Hello,
this
Bricky.
is going to be
Nice to
a
meet
long
you.
video and a large project that has been going on for quite some time. This is, I need two hands for this. This is every single Warhammer 40K race in kind of a nutshell, explained, a little bit of explanation, a little bit of lore, a little bit of talking about the tabletop, but mostly
that's cool.
lore, what
That's
they're all
cool.
about,
I need more
and
tabletop
also a little bit
stuff.
of background for those of you who just have no clue what Warhammer 40,000 is. Now you see, Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 is a universe people hear plenty of, but don't know a whole lot about. They see, oh, there's these dudes in big power armor with chainsaw swords, and they got these big old green
Chainsaw
orcs,
swords.
and there's some bugs over there, and everyone calls these guys weebs, and then there's these spiky bitches over here, and I don't get it. I don't understand. Where do I start? Well, this video is particularly for you, or for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge, but you're kind of curious about each of the different races and factions in Warhammer.
Yeah, so that's basically me, the latter one. Like, I know some stuff. Also, I kind of, yeah, the way he described it just now was, yeah, that was what I knew as well, like people in suits and bugs and, yeah. So let's go.
So overall, the Warhammer universe is vast when it comes to lore and background, and each different faction
Yes,
is so different with the things they believe in.
yeah,
and some are
I know.
human, some are transhuman, like where they all have all these crazy ass electronics on them. So I will be explaining every single faction in the Warhammer 40K universe, at least all the factions you can play as. And
Okay. First, sorry. So those are the ones I could play. And I know one is a bit cut off, and Dark Angels here are cut off as well. But okay, so Adeptus Sororitas, I think is that the Warrior Nuns? Astra Militarium, don't know. Blood Angels, don't know. Chaos Demons, oh, I know those. Chaos Space Marines, I've heard a bit. Dark Angels, don't know. Dark Elder, oh yeah, Dark Elder, I've probably heard a lot about Dark. God, Jesus. Yeah, Dark Elder are horrifying. Elder, Grey Knights, are those the... I don't remember. Are those the... No, the Death Guard was the one from the past, wasn't it? So Grey Knights, I don't know. Imperial Knights, no idea. Inquisition, I heard some stuff. Those are the ones who try to do the will of the Emperor stuff. Necrons, oh, I know some about those as well. They are pretty cool. Orcs, yeah, I did a bit on orcs. We need more orcs in our lives, I realized. Space Marines, yeah, I've known some about that as well. Something behind him, I don't know. The Tower Empire, we did that 2 days ago, actually. So that was a cool video. Like interesting stuff about the Tower. Tyranids, oh. Tyranids. I love Tyranids. So let's just go. So we are gonna go through all of these. Can't wait. So half of them I don't know, actually. So this is going to be fun. Let's have some fun.
and some smaller factions here and there. I will not
Space
be
Wolves,
discussing
okay.
absolutely
Don't know what that is.
everything in it because that is
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit
Space
much.
Wolves or Space
And I'm not
Marines,
going
I
to go
think.
too mega deep into the lore. I'm going to give you a pretty solid overview
No,
of each of the different
Adeptus
factions
Arbites, what's
and
that?
have you learn a little bit about them. And we'll discuss a little bit of the tabletop as well.
Oh
in
yeah,
case
I
you're
want that.
curious about
Oh, that looks so
But
cool.
For this
That looks so
episode
cool. That
entirely,
looks so
we are
cool.
for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter and the laughter of thirsting gods. Everything blows.
Yeah, okay. So probably cut out the text. You can see it in the original video, but yeah. So what we just learned is basically what I know all of that. So the Emperor is in this vegetative state because of the Horus Heresy, and we will dive into Horus Heresy soon if you vote for it. And yeah, I can't wait for Horus Heresy. I don't know that much about it. I just know that there was a civil war and he was effed before he could try to destroy the Chaos Gods, I think. And now he's like a veggie on a throne that is trying to hold off the Chaos Gods. God? Was it one? And he's he's like, yeah, go away here, and I'm almost dead. And they have to sacrifice very many souls every day to him, so he stays alive and able to hold off the destruction of the Chaos War or whatever. So that's what I know. And yeah, I know there's only darkness and war and bad stuff, so let's go.
And it blows fucking hard. Warhammer is probably the most dark and depressing universes ever in
Yeah,
fiction.
I
or at
agree,
least like
I agree.
top 3.
Already,
Everything is so absurdly horrible, destructive, or overpowered that it all kind of ends up canceling itself out. It's like Dota. War rages across the galaxy. Interstellar travel is only possible due to sacrificing 1,000 souls a day to a rotting carcass of a man who you believe to be
Jesus
your dog.
Christ.
Demonic.
Oh my god, that picture of the Emperor, that was so disgusting. Jesus Christ.
Gods and just demons tear open the fabric of reality on a whim. Other Xenos or even other humans end up killing each other in untold billions across the galaxy. It is a time of unending war, slaughter, and a bloodbath amongst everybody. Planets are deemed unrecoverable and are completely destroyed on a whim. Everything sucks, but that's like the charm of it. See, everything in Warhammer is evil, but being evil is kind of fun, like humanity.
No, what? Okay, so no, yes and no, like that's not very nuanced, mate. I know it's not that way. I know many things are evil, but like it's all perspective. Like everything probably you would say on the first glance is evil is like has ideas behind it that are like very complex, and saying it's all evil is a bit plump. But I mean, I get where he comes from for a like it's more evil than like it's not good. Although sometimes you can even debate on that. Like it's often the needs of the one against the needs of the many. I feel that's the one of the most basic things that's going on, as far as I've heard, but I might be wrong. And also the nature versus society aspect that is also brought up a lot, which is like, is nature evil? Like, is a mama bear evil for tearing like to shreds a fox for trying to maul her children? Is that evil? Is that love? It's horrible, but you know.
Humanity, in its own right, is a xenophobic, prejudice, and religious zealot group
Yes,
that kill
but
each
they
other
have their
just as much as
reasons.
they kill all of their enemies. And they're like mid to high tier evil
Okay.
on the evil.
Evil scale. Okay, my roles is that has to do with the dice game, I assume. So either he has good rolls or bad rolls. I don't know what that is. So that guy, I don't know who that guy is. Tau players. Why? Okay, I don't get that joke. It's probably very funny. Imperium of Men, Elder, Orcs, Tyranids. Okay, so Tau players are not as evil as Imperium of Man. I mean, okay. playing low tier for fun, playing by intent, guys who bring food. Wait, I don't get this one. Like, are Tau more evil or Tyranids? Like, I would say... See, I couldn't even understand what he means here. Like, Tyranids, you could say Tyranids are ultimate evil because they destroy all other living things. Or you could say Tau players are evil because of stuff I don't understand. Or orcs. Like, orcs are not evil in the slightest, they're just having fun. Fight me on that one. I don't get
Warhammer, this. Nobody is good.
I don't get that one.
Who you are,
explain it to me,
everyone
please.
is some flavor, some color of evil. Whoever you pick, you are going to be the bad guy. But that's the fun of it.
No,
because being the bad guy is badass.
I don't know.
Villains are cool.
That's
they
not
look
how I
cool.
understood
They got
it.
cool outfits. They got cool weapons. They got cool armies. Villains are cool, man. And when everyone is a villain, everyone is pretty cool. That's what makes this...
No, villains are cool if they have great motives that make you understand why they're villains. So that's why villains are cool. Don't get me wrong, I'm the guy who plays the villain every day. Like, I love villains. It's like the best thing about stories, I think. For me, I think villains are one of, like, if not the best things of stories. Like, that's why I love horror so much. Like, because the villain always wins, like, so, and it focuses on the villain a lot. But yeah, I think that's probably what he means. So I guess that's what he means. He probably means that that evil, that it's cool to be evil because you are a more complex and layered character. And all the things about the evil in this universe I already know, and I already learned in my deep dives, was that yes, there is a lot of evil. There's a lot of damn evil, but it has reasons and it tries to fend off bigger evils all the time. Like, yes, and everyone who's evil, most of the guys probably don't see themselves as evil. I mean, save for the Dark Elder. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if you want people to get into this universe, it's probably cool to say this. So it's fine. Like, I really like him, by the way. He's a cool dude. Like, I really enjoy him. But yeah, I'm a bit, perhaps, I don't know if what he says is too surface. But I mean, I don't know anything. So perhaps I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong.
So charming is that everyone can be the bad guy. So let's start off talking about the main bad guy, quote unquote, the Imperium of Man.
Yeah, see, I like that he does the quotes. Okay, so we get some Horus Heresy stuff.
The main empire of the human race. All of humanity is under this one flag called the Imperium. And about 10,000 years ago, there was a man. He was the emperor of mankind.
Glory to the Emperor!
10-foot-tall psychic demigod who led humanity across the stars to colonize tons and tons of worlds, create superhuman soldiers, and really bring humanity into a new age. This man, the Emperor of Mankind, was a Psyker. And a Psyker is like a magician of sorts. In the world of 40K, there is the Warp, the Immaterial, kind of like Hell, but sort of like a purgatory dimension of Hell. And a Psyker is someone who can take that power and manifest it through their mind to use it to do stuff, like witchcraft stuff, magician stuff, spells, and lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that. The Emperor, big boy Psyker.
Yeah, that's the Emperor image I hate.
Now, the Emperor created a bunch of sons. Yes, created a bunch of sons known as the Primarchs. He created 18 Primarchs to have them lead all of the different legions of humanity to the different stars.
What happened to the other two? I forgot. I know something really stupid or evil happened to the other two. So it was 18, okay. They all look badass as well. Like, this one looks nice. It's probably evil. And you know what I mean with evil. What I just said. Complex. But not nice. This dude looks like what's his name? The priest guy from Warcraft. Yeah, cool. Immortan
and plans
Joe.
to help colonize and bring it out. These Primarchs are basically like little versions of the Emperor. Not all of them are psychers, but a lot of them are very, very powerful, and they lead his special Space Marine legions. Then this big clusterfuck happened called the Horus Heresy, where the Emperor's favorite son, the Primarch, Horus, ended up joining Chaos and leading 9 of the 18, half of his Primarchs directly to Earth to fight down the Emperor himself. Now, if you want to know what Chaos is, remember what I mentioned earlier? The warp, that immaterium that...
I can't wait to find out how exactly that happened. Like, how could he persuade the others to follow him against the Emperor? Can't wait to find that out.
Hellish place. In there relies the 4 Chaos Gods. Imagine like Satan and 3 other Satans. The warp being kind of evil, those Chaos Gods, that's the reason. And so those Chaos Gods manipulated Horus, and then Horus helped manipulate all 8 other Primarchs to lead this giant coup directly on the Emperor on Earth. And they fucked up shit. After this huge civil war, Horus died, but not before brutally wounding the Emperor, and right at the end of his life, they put the Emperor on this large golden throne on Earth, in which he is now alive, just barely, but slowly rotting away, powering something called the Astronomicon, so long as he stays alive, and is fed 1,000 people a day. The Astronomicon is like the North Star. If you want to do interstellar travel in 40K, you need to pass through that demonic warp I mentioned earlier. But how do you...
At least if you're a human, I assume. But yeah. So, I like that. So that's the Astronomicon. I think we've heard it before, but that makes sense. So it's... I know it's like a lighthouse, but it's more... Like, I like his metaphor better. Like, I like his metaphor of the Northern Star. That's very cool.
You know where you're going. Well, the Emperor is there putting a nice little navigator right there. He helps navigate you to know where you're going. If you want to go from Earth to some crazy solar system across the way, you need to go through that warp, and then you need to know where you're going, go through there, and pop your way out. It's like doing nether travel in Minecraft, so you can shorten the distance between going to areas. So long as the Emperor is alive and being fed 1,000 people a day to stay alive, you can do that. The moment he dies, interstellar travel's gone for all of humanity. You're so boned. Now, since the Horus Heresy 10,000 years ago, the Imperium has fallen from grace substantially. All technology has started to dwindle and die. There is now giant fundamental religious extremists that now believe the Emperor of Mankind was a deity, a true living god, which is probably the last thing the Emperor would have wanted to be remembered for. So now you have this thing called the Ecclesiarchy, which is this giant church entirely devoted to spreading the good word of the
that's what it's called. That's
cool.
He
is now the Holy Emperor God, the God Emperor of mankind. And all of the Imperium has taken up worshipping him to the fullest extent and killing anything that isn't humanity in his name. The Imperium has this futuristic gothic tone to it and a hefty religious zealotry to them. If you think anything against the Emperor, that's heresy and you deserve to die. That is called being a heretic. Heretics die in 40K. There is no such thing as freedom of religion. There is no such thing as freedom of speech.
What was that? What was that dude? Oh God, mate. Oh God, why? Why? Local heretic. Though to be fair, this looks a bit like what Dark Eldars would do. So, yeah. Oh God, that's so disgusting.
So long as you are against the Emperor, there is no such thing as any kind of tolerance. Everyone is a religious zealot. Some more than others, but
who is that guy?
You preach in that good word. So right now, everyone in humanity is trying to expand their empire across the stars. If you are a heretic, someone who doesn't believe in the Emperor, you are deserving of death. If you believe in the Chaos Gods, you are also a heretic and you deserve death. If you are an alien race of any kind, you are a filthy Xenos and you deserve death as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
long
basically how
as
it goes.
The murder continues and humanity expands, the Imperium of Man is very, very happy.
So they're a bit like Tyranids, only not as extreme. I didn't realize that. So are they like because it looks a bit like they're spreading as well just for the sake of it. So yeah.
However, the largest fighting force of this Imperium is my personal favorite faction, and the first faction we will discuss, the Astra Militarum, or also known as the Imperial Guard.
Pretty shit now, man.
Yeah, Astra Militarum is called, like, that's Latin for star military or star army.
The Imperial Guard is the main fighting force of the Imperium, and in a world of horrifying creatures, galactic monstrosities, the literal demons themselves breaking through the fabric of time to kill you, the Imperial Guard are untold billions of regular men and women wearing modern day like flak armor with a laser rifle. This is the humble las gun. The main
Okay, they got that from Dune. But yeah, okay, so I didn't know about them as well. Like, that's pretty harsh. How many, like, this feels so much like Starship Troopers, but in a dark way. Where in Starship Troopers, it was also like all these soldiers just running in, getting mauled, but yeah.
Main weapon of the Imperial Guard. It fires superheated plasma lasers at an extremely fast fire rate. It is reliable, never jams. It can blow off limbs, giant holes in concrete. It is overall an extremely devastating weapon in modern day. It is one of the weakest in the 40K universe.
Yeah, I guess.
A laser rifle that never jams, it could blow off limbs, one of the weakest weapons.
Yeah, of course
That's
it is.
the world we're in right now. But who cares?
It's 20,000 years in even more in the future, like,
battle, 500,000 of these men and women. 30,000 large armored tanks, 10,000 artillery batteries. The Imperial Guard wins through sheer numbers and firepower. They kind of have this World War I, World War II style aesthetic with legions of guardsmen as well as high company commanders and generals on the field along with them, and multiple kinds of troops. A normal Imperial Guard battle starts off with artillery, long lines of artillery, cracking the crust of the planet underneath the enemy's feet. And as this barrage continues, hundreds of thousands of guardsmen, a sea of guardsmen surges forward, firing and charging at everything possible while the planet rumbles as tanks roll up behind them.
That's actually pretty badass.
Block out the sun and tanks block out the dirt with the steps and hoof prints of millions of guardsmen. It is
How are the logistics on that? How do they all get there? How did they get there? But that aside, it's pretty dark, like, Jesus Christ. It's really Tyranid-like, because Tyranids also rush you down, so they just rush you down. Oh man, yeah. How do they create so much stuff? I mean, they have millions of worlds, I guess, but yeah.
It's through numbers and sheer sundering firepower. They are the first and last line of defense for the Imperium and make up a huge bulk of the battles. The Imperial Guard is also made up of tons of different kinds of regiments. The Catachin jungle fighters live in a death world that's more hospitable than almost any firefight they'll ever get into. So they just have this steroid-looking, giant knife, Rambo Predator-looking sons of bitches where nothing is anywhere near as scary as a simple knight on their home planet. You have the Valhallan Winter Soldiers who haven't felt their toes in 300 years, the Mordian Iron Guard who are more interested in making their shoes shine than actually fighting a battle, and then of course the big one, the Cadians from Cadia. The biggest export of guardsmen in the entirety
What
of the
happened to
Imperium.
Cadia?
You will
That looked
fire
bad.
your first gun at 5. You will disassemble and reassemble it at 10. You will have pounding artillery drills day in and day out at 15. And you'll fight your first Swarm Lord at 16. And if you mention Cadia, you will burst into an unrelenting amount of tears and sadness. The Imperial Guard are my personal favorite faction in 40K. They're the army I collect the most, the ones I enjoy playing the most, and the one I enjoy in the lore sense a lot. There's something about just a regular man with a laser rifle being told to charge the horrors of this universe and willingly doing so for his god emperor. It's just poetic. They actually
I really like that. I really like his style. Like, I really like what he's doing. He's very passionate. And also, are those his? Probably his. I also like a lot that he tells me why he chose them and what he does, and I hope now he will tell me more about them in the tabletop, because I have no idea about the tabletop. Still don't have any idea about it, just know all the lore now. Like, I know 1% of the lore. But yeah, like this, I didn't know these, so I don't know that much, but yeah.
Represent the main Imperial Guard tactics pretty well. Large amounts of artillery that doesn't require a line of sight, lots of tanks, tons of infantry, drop troops, and gunships. Overall, they're pretty similar to how they sound, though a little bit expensive to collect, unfortunately. And they don't hit a lot.
Because it's
so many?
They have
a bit of a bad aim, but you don't really care because you're just drowning them in shots. However, if you want more accurate fire and specialization, we can move on to talk about Space Marines.
There they are.
The Angels of Death are up next. As stated, each Primarch has their own legion. Robot Girly Man has the Ultramarines. Jagatai Khan has the White Scars. Rogel Dorn has the Imperial Fists. Corvus Corax has the Raven Guard.
Yeah, the Ravens,
I know them. There's a whole bunch of other side sections
I know the Ravens, I've heard of them.
Extremely interesting and have a little bit more of a twist on the average Space Marines.
Okay, so we've got Sons of Horrors, probably not so good. Blood Angels, heard that before. I think it was a faction as well. Iron Hands, World Eaters, that sounds cool. Ultramarines, Death Guard, Alpha Legion, Raven Guard, Salamanders, and I can't read anything else. But that all, that's so cool. Fenris as a World of Origin. Makrach, Deliverance. Those are so many cool names. Medusa. And they're all about, 100,000, like 300,000 guys, okay.
Which we will discuss in a bit. Humorously enough, I don't have a whole lot to say about Space Marines. They're superhumanly fast. In fact, it's been said that nothing that large.
That looks cool. The animation looks very cool.
These men in power armor moving at blazing fast speeds. Their reflexes are faster. Their skin is tougher. They are overall just extremely powerful soldiers. In fact, where they differ comes down to which Space Marine Legion we're talking about. For instance, the Ultramarines done by Robot Gilliman, are the main blue boys. Strong in almost every way, the jack of all trades
they are
kind
the
of group
Omega
that are a little
ones.
bit too strong, and that's a lore problem, but the White Scars by Jagatai Khan are all about speed freaks, go fast. We're talking attack bikes, we're talking land speeders. You want to go in quick, you want to hit them hard, you want them to be swarming around like buzzflies.
That's so cool.
Buzzsaw.
That's so cool. And by the way, he explains it very well here. Like I really like this video a lot. I've started, like, because I once started this other one like 1 minute in, and I stopped it because he was explaining the factions and he was doing many terrible jokes. But here he does his jokes are fun, and I really like this video. Really like this stuff. I don't know what I watched then. Perhaps I watched a bizarro video that he did as an April Fool's joke. That might be, because this is really cool. And I like this guy on the bike going in, just Harley in, just go.
Saws. With the speed of buzz saws. Fuck you, Pale King. Salamanders love fire. Fire in forge,
yes.
Fire in battle. Flamers, melta-guns, multi-meltas. Just so long as something can be burning, that's big. And they're also actually some of the nicest of the Space Marines. A lot of Space Marines have this kind of like holier-than-thou thing because of their genetic strength.
Yeah, of course
However,
they do.
the Salamanders tend to put human lives above the lives of themselves, which is actually rather rare. Black. Like, they have a charcoal, dark, ashy exterior and blazing red eyes. Apparently something about living on their home planet of Nocturne, which I don't know if that makes much sense, but who cares? This is like fantasy land anyway. Overall, Salamanders are actually one of my personal favorite legions because they're just really cool. They're fun to play as because of all their flamer weapons, and they have a nice,
do have flame weapons. It's
more
cool.
heartwarming lore, as opposed to being super evil like everyone else is. Oh my god, we're not even a quarter of the way through the Space Marine Legions. Imperial Fists believe in the power of the siege and defensive positions. Raven Guards, master of stealth and sabotage while having burn helmets. Iron Hands, masters of machines and vehicles while being really goddamn good at being sold on eBay after one nerf. Space Wolves, Vikings and wolves, and tons
that
of wolves
sounds like some
and axes,
repressed
fur everywhere.
anger.
Space Wolves, so angry, big teeth. Blood Angels, the genetic defect to make them want to drink blood and go crazy, called the Red Thirst. They have Cupid
we heard
wings and
that
stuff.
before,
It's a little bit
yes.
strange, and they are all super gay for Sanguinius. Dark Angels are old school knights and inner circle theme, and
Are you a heretic?
Me? No, never. Once in a blue moon, I know.
Death Watch.
What was that?
Anti-Xenos
I don't know
group
what that
nobody
was, but it
plays
was
because
weird.
Death Watch, and they look cool though, but no one plays them. I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though. Black Templars, for the people who, if you haven't prayed at least 3 times a day, you're gonna start praying out that airlock. And I'm sure there's some other chapters I may have missed as well, like Crimson Fist and stuff.
Okay.
But those are the main ones, right? They are my Space Marines, and they shall know no fear. And on the
That is so cool. Yeah, I like as well that they can't be sick and stuff and all their, like, we had this video where I think it was Luton, he talked about an hour about their biology, which was so interesting and so cool.
tabletop, they fuck. Oh, they fuck hard. As of making this video, Space Marines are laughably strong. That might change at some point, but overall, Space Marines just have it's like a Swiss Army knife, a tool for anything you need, except it's like a gold-plated Swiss Army knife. It is extremely strong. If you are actually getting into the tabletop of Warhammer, Space Marines are a great start. Also,
I don't think so then, because if they are too powerful, it's lame. Like, yes, you can have some fun crushing others, but I don't know. I don't know yet what I will get down the line. Like, I've got 10 months left. I will buy an army next like end of the year probably, or not an army, but I will start collecting. So, but I will need more info on every faction still. So yeah, currently I have 1 or 2 in mind that I might want to buy. So I will have to decide down the line. But yeah, I don't think I will buy Space Marines. I think I already know that because everyone knows them and stuff, and I want to have something that's a bit weirder. Like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah.
So whatever gameplay style you have, whether you want to be sit back with long range and heavy weaponry, go fast and run in, or even just full melee, all of these options are totally there for you. Space Marines are super badass, but unfortunately, it's time we start praying to our new god, the 2011 Honda Civic.
So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Love that meme.
The Adeptus
Technology.
Mechanicus.
Oh,
The
there we
Adeptus
go.
Mechanicus are a tech.
Yes, and don't worry, I will still do a deep dive on Adeptus Mechanicus if you vote for it, even though he already tells me some stuff about them, because I already know some stuff about them, but they seem pretty cool. So yeah, I hope I get some more new info about these. I think they're from Mars, but yeah.
Technophile cult on Mars.
Yeah.
Now, these people
Got
are a
it.
little bit
Got my
weird
law.
because they don't actually really believe in the Emperor of Mankind. And you might think, oh, whoa.
No, they
Bricky,
believe
that
in the
sounds
tech
like
god,
some
don't they?
heresy. A little bit. They believe in the Emperor. They believe in his power. But they don't pray to him. They pray to something called the Omnissiah. And the Omnissiah is this kind of machine god that they believe permeates in all machines. And if you think, well,
chaos
wait
god.
a minute, they believe in a different god as well? That sounds like super heresy.
Yes,
well,
it does.
Yes-ish. But they also make all your guns. And they make all your tanks.
Yeah, so
And they make everything that you have. So you can't really tell them to fuck off.
it's so good.
Because
Okay.
you're not going to win nothing if you don't got stuff to shoot people with. See, their
Yeah,
Omnissiah
that's cool.
at least makes sense from their standpoint. They believe it to be a deity that permeates through all machines. Your Honda Civic, your standard bolt gun, your Dune Strider Walker,
Oh, that
your
looks
giant
cool.
mechs, your huge ships. The Omnissiah is present through all. And the only reason your stuff works is because the machine's spirit in it says it works.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want your gun to work, your tank to run, you must pray to it. And I mean full stop. You need to start chanting in high Gothic. You need to burn incense. You need to sit on your knees and pray to that car. You need to rub oil on your robe.
This is
and you
sponsored
need
by
to go,
Honda.
Homina, 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 homina. Full stop. If you want your damn thing to work, if you want your gun to fire, you need to do that. They are very bizarre, and they actually have a bit of a point, because
Yeah, because the warp is there, a thing. So they might use the warp here. Or the immaterium field. It doesn't have to be the warp. It might be something else that's in, like, something parallel to the warp or whatever. But, I mean, they believe that is automatically probably warp stuff, so yeah.
because it's obviously working. And if you look at them, I don't know how that works. So they obviously know something about what they're doing. The most notable member of the Adeptus Mechanicus is Magos, whatever, Belisarius Call. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Yeah, this is the group we're talking about. There is no certainty in flesh, but death. Flesh.
Yeah, okay, so I mean they're the anti-Tyranids. Wouldn't they be friends with Necrons? Like, are Necrons like their god as well? I don't know.
Is weakness. Flesh is death. The Omnissiah is the god of the machines, and if you wish to be whole, if you wish to be holy, if you wish to give unto him, you must saw down your limbs and remove your organs and replace them with mechanical parts, because that is what he wants, and that is how you will become enlightened.
Great.
Hard technophiles mixed with religious extremism. Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, for their army side of things, they are with the Scutari. The Scutari operate with very bizarre weaponry and lots of different kinds of vehicles, tanks, and different people in between. They're very weird, but they have extremely wacky and enjoyable, and in fact quite effective, both in the real game and in the lore, weaponry and gear. Overall, as an army on the tabletop, they're very weird and have a whole bunch of different shenanigans.
That looks so cool, but I imagine this is so hard to do. Like I know you have to paint them. I know that already. Like I learned that. But yeah, like look at this. Like this color here. That's, oh man, painting this must take days. Days. It looks so good, but it will take days, I imagine. Wow.
But if you like kind of that quirky, wacky techno thing, I'd give them a pickup. Hell, they're so paranoid. I gotta keep going. They're so paranoid and crazy. These Dune Striders you see right here, one guy was able to make them work. One guy, and he died. And they're so scared they'll never work again that they keep them on and they never turn them off. And they run around in a circle the whole time until they need them, and then they corral it and they go into battle.
That's so stupid, but I love it.
The Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, if you want to talk about faith, let's talk about the Sisters of Battle.
Yes.
Has fallen for an eagle in Lego City.
The Sisters of Battle of
Oh
the
yeah,
Adeptus
those are the nuns. I like their design a lot.
Female group of battle sisters going through the ecclesiarchy section of the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is of course the church. This is, imagine a private army of the church, which is scary.
Oh God, what happened to you, mate?
The sisters are an extremely zealotous force, and they take this to a full extreme. They believe in three main things: faith, martyrdom, and fire. Through the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, the Sisters of Battle are extremely potent at taking out chaos and heretics. Mainly heretics, because as they are a fighting section of the ecclesiarchy church, that's the big thing they want to kill. Any form of heretic will face the Emperor's justice through those three main weapons: the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, and they will do so with extreme prejudice.
What's the difference between a flamer and a melter? Don't flames also melt? I don't know. But this chick here, she looks pretty tanky, like a bit like Leona. Pretty strong. They are kind of really cool.
Literally. They are the closest things we have to nuns in space. And I'm talking hardcore nuns.
Yeah, they remind me of Bene Gesserit that picked up some armor and weapons, probably. I don't know why. Perhaps their facial expressions.
Carry holy fire on their backs. They have holy books and sigils all across their armor. Their main battle tank is a fucking pipe organ missile launcher. They have small babies that they have removed their brain capacity to make them little servant cherubs to fly around and give them ammunition and shit.
What the fuck? Why? What is this? I did not need that in my life.
They drop churches from low orbit as mini drop pods onto battles. They drop churches
That's so
into
funny.
battles, and they blare war hymns and holy music from their frigates in low atmosphere and shower holy water
I love their
across
angel
the
stuff.
battlefield. These are the people you are dealing with, and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah,
They
this
can
really sounds
literally
awesome.
stave off demons on the tabletop because their faith is that strong. Remember the warp, the demons from the warp?
Yeah.
Well, the warp also manifests in your mind. All of your
Yeah, that's true. I didn't. Yeah. That's so cool. Like, you can, with enough faith, you might be able to fend off the warp. You might create another chaos thing, but at least you will face down the ones, you can face down the ones that you are facing. So, yeah.
emotions, negative and positive, go through the warp. It's the immaterium, the place of all things. So if you are that mentally fortified, that mentally strong, you can stave off horrifying demons. And all these girls, oh, not a crack in that mental armor. I gotta say, I love their design. I think they're extremely cool. They're
That looks
another
cool,
army
yeah.
that I'm currently collecting. They just released a whole new line of figures very recently, and they look wonderful.
Yeah, look at the detail here as well. Oh god, you've got the cherub thing here. But apart from that, that looks so wow. Like, imagine painting this. This looks so good. This looks so good.
Everything from Celestine, the living, literally undying saint, from the triumph of Saint Catherine, which is literally a funeral procession
Why?
as a model, those organ tanks I mentioned earlier. This shit is the most over-the-top badassery in a lot of the Warhammer universe, and goddamn it, is it over the top. But Sisters of Battle are so cool. While I'm a guardsman at heart, oh, this is such a cool faction. By Bolter Shell, Flamer Burst, and Melta Blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So it has been for 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time. And
Yeah, till the end of time. I really like the quotes he puts as well. It's very well done. And I really like the idea of that for the enemy's sin's existence. That's so cool.
And speaking of burning demons,
I can see.
the Grey Knights are the first army I actually collected back in 7th edition. The Grey Knights are a super secretive and much more old school look at power armored knights, except they are all psychers. All of them have that crazy space magic magician shit.
So they're
For every
paladins.
100,000 guardsmen,
And they
there's
also
one
have
Grey
hammers,
Knight.
so-
For every 10,000 Sisters of Battle, there's one Grey Knight. For every 1,000 Space Marines, there's one Grey Knight. Grey Knights are the strongest of the strong, both in mental will and absolute just strength. These are Space Marines that are all high-level psychers, all of them able to specifically do one goal, and that is kill demons. The Emperor
That's
believed
so
that
cool.
the demons of chaos were the #1 threat to the Imperium, and he probably is right. However, this
From what I've heard, Tyranids seem to be the worse than Tau than... no, not Tau, Necrons. No, Necrons, no. I think, nah. So from what I know, I think Tyranids first, Chaos second.
This group is entirely based on doing that through a myriad of tactics. Coming from the planet, or I guess the moon, of Titan in the Sol system, the Grey Knights are thrown through extremely rigorous training and are as clear of mind and soul as they possibly can be. Since the demons of the warp are the warp and your mind projects to the warp, people can go insane very fast, especially lower level psychers. These Grey Knights need to be able to harness the warp in the presence of demons and stay perfectly safe.
That is so
One of the
badass.
characters, one of my favorite characters, is named Castellan Crow. He has a demon blade, the black blade of Mahamahama, and he has to have it on him because it tempts everyone nearby, constantly beckoning them. Use my power, use my strength, suck my penis, whatever the possibility. And so he has to keep it on him all the time as this thing whispers to him consistently. And he
Looks
has
a
to
bit
stave it off
like, or sounds a bit
forever,
like the
being
thing
alone in
Arthur
his
says.
chambers
What's its
on the
its name?
because anyone who gets too close to it might be tempted a little too hard. He is that pure of heart and mind, and all the characters in the Grey Knights are basically like that. The only
That's so
issue is
badass.
that Grey Knights have a scorched earth policy, more ways than one. If they're fighting demons, demons corrupt and make people crazy. So if I'm a guardsman and I'm fighting demons and the Grey Knights arrive and they kill all the demons, I'm a risk.
So sad.
Guess who's not making it out of there? On the
So
tabletop,
sad.
they're very strike fast, strike hard kind of people. They teleport all around the place.
Oh, you
They're
can do
fast
that?
Strike groups, small amounts of models because they're so dang strong. You only have so many characters, but with it, you get in there. You're very tough, very tanky. You hit really hard, and you try to bounce around the battlefield quickly, but you don't have numbers, and so every dead Grey Knight hits really damn hard. They're fun though if you like that
That's
kind
so
of
cool.
fast striking kind of army. Oh, and also Caldor Drago is a thing. We're not even gonna get into Caldor Drago. All right, that is oh my goodness gracious.
Sounds like
I
Game
am
of
the hammer.
Thrones.
I am the mail about his fist. I am the spear in his hand. Though we are lost, I am the shield on his arm. I am the flight of his arrows. I am the hammer. I am the sword. I am the shield. I am a soldier at the battle at the end of time.
That's so cool.
Grey Knights are pretty hardcore. They are as holy as you can get for a Space Marine. If you like Space Marines and you don't think they're holy enough, you want to be holier?
Yes,
Grey
yes.
Knights. You want to be holier and big. Let's talk Imperial Knights.
Oh, Lord, he coming!
Do you like gigantic walkers the size of homes or medium-sized buildings? Do you want
Titans.
to kill heretics, but you want to kill like 40 of them per turn? Do you want a gigantic old
Really, 40 per turn? Like, isn't one model like a lot? How many things are in a battle? I need to know more about the rules of the tabletop. Sounds so fun.
school knight noble house style of walkers with giant chainsaw arms? Then you got Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights, it's not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers, but they have this old school like house feel to them, like literally like they're houses. Each Imperial Knight
Oh,
comes
wow,
from a
that
house,
looks so
and each
cool.
of them act in their own special way. These behemoth of walkers
Oh, what are they
also
fighting?
destroy almost everything in
Is
their
that
path,
a
killing full
Elder God
swaths
thing?
of squads in a couple shots, stepping on
Wow,
legions of
that looks
troops.
so cool.
These things do not mess around, and they look so cool. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, actually, for that matter, don't have a whole lot to discuss. They're just super big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or Chaos God you currently believe in.
Oh, look at this demon dude. He looks cool as well.
And overall, these things are just really cool if you want to murder everything in your path. They're the big, scary, big unit of Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project, too. Getting more back down to earth, let's talk something about a little bit different, a little more gold. If
Adeptus
guardsmen are
Custodes.
regular
Okay.
soldiers, Space Marines are super soldiers, Grey Knights are super soldiers, the Adeptus Custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus Custodes are the third major army I own. I know, 3 armies. I know, I got carried.
Is that a lot? 3 armies? Like, why not? Is that because they're so expensive? I've heard they're expensive. Is that why that's weird? But yeah, they look cool. So I thought, like, how can you? Are they really? Like I the way he's told us about the Death Knights, they seemed like pretty overpowered already with the teleporting stuff and being very hard hitting. Like, what are these guys gonna do? Like, when are they gonna start to be unbalanced? Like, what's the most unbalanced faction in the game, by the way? Answer me, please, pretty please. Also subscribe.
away, okay? But that's all. I only have 3, okay? They are our final brand of Space Marines, but these ones are super special.
They're gold probably because of the Emperor as well.
A Space Marine is 7 feet, a Custodian is 8 feet. These are the giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra, Terra themselves. These are the people that literally guard the Emperor's throne room.
Yeah, okay.
Custodians.
Of
These
course.
boys protect the Emperor's throne room at all times and are literally like handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by a gene seer or something.
So, sorry to interrupt him here, but if you have an army and fight with them, how would that work law-wise? Like, would they leave the throne room? Why would they do that? Isn't that stupid? But he's gonna tell me, I know. So, I know, I'm getting ahead of it.
And these are all handcrafted super soldiers. I think from a tube. These behemoth of men are like 8 feet, 8.5 feet tall, and functionally immortal. They stand still, spear in hand, for hundreds of years without the need to sleep and barely even the need to eat, watching over the throne room and every other area of Holy Terra for their entire purpose.
Okay, every era
And,
of Holy Terra, I see.
Lord, are they terrifying. These Custodians put Space Marines to shame. If you liked your super soldiers, these are your super mega soldiers. One of these men can take on probably 3 Space Marines and most likely win. There are many different groups of Custodians as well, like the Solar Watch, or there's also one of my personal favorite, the Aquilan Shield. The Aquilan Shield go out to seemingly unimportant individuals and protect them because they believe that they are going to be doing something very important in their lives. For instance,
interesting.
A regular guardsman gets the protection of this giant 8.5 foot tall golden god because that guardsman will end up becoming a general one day. Or
That's
something
so
of that nature.
cool.
The Custodians
That's so cool.
work in mysterious ways and are almost always outnumbered, but never outmatched. These people are pretty horrifying, both on the tabletop as well as in the lore. There are very few of them, however, and there's actually an extremely small amount of them. But that's kind of the point. There's only so many of these people that can have war gear this strong, weapons this powerful, and training this good. And the Custodians have all 3 of it. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. The Custodian...
Wow, that's such a badass quote, yeah. What cool guys.
These are the top dogs of the Imperium, and they hurt just that same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the Sisters of Silence before we get out of here, because the Sisters of Silence I also have a few of, and they're really fun, but they don't get enough attention. These kind of bald plume ladies are a whole group of pariahs, are also known as blanks. We'll be referring to them as blanks from now on.
Okay,
so
why?
as every mind is somewhat connected to the warp, these blanks are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that mind suppression, normal people feel this weird, like, uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence walks past them, you feel ill. You feel just uncomfortable.
That's so weird. I love it.
Most of them don't actually live past childhood because once they are birthed, they're, well, you know,
left to rot
or something at a very young age because they just emit a horrifying aura. These ladies, however, are guardians of the throne as well for more psychic threats. See, none of the Custodians are psychers, so they have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena. These sisters are extremely specialized in it, all of them taking a vow of silence as they don't speak, hence the term Sisters of Silence, but they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature. But if there's a demon issue, if there's any kind of warp-based problem, the sisters are extremely adept at dealing with them, thanks to their blank gene. They normally work a lot of time with the Custodians because they have to deal with both kinds of threats, but they're not represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they only have like one real model for them, which is very unfortunate. I hope they'll get something new soon because I think they should really be working together as it is that way in the lore. But
yeah, it sounds they are too overpowered or too niche. Like, why? Like, I get that that sounds very cool, but isn't it a bit overkill to do every little... Like, yes, they are a very, very important small faction, like the Custodians. Were they called Custodians? Yeah, Custodians. They are both very, very small factions. It would be like every planet probably has a specialized faction. Of course, these are extremely specialized, have to do with the Emperor. That's why they are so like prominent, I guess. And yeah, but like where do you stop producing models for lore factions that are like, you know what I mean? Perhaps if things get too small, they don't do it because, yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully we'll get there soon. But if we're talking about blanks, let's talk assassins.
Officio Assassinorum Norum. So
Been a long
these
video.
are
We're about
assassins.
to round it out. We got this and one more human thing, and then we're done. The assassins, though, the Officio Assassinorum. Oh boy, these people are deadly. Yeah, they're called assassins. They should be.
Yeah, they should be. I agree.
These people will mess you up. So these are from the Officio Assassinorum, a very special organization, and they are handpicked by the Grand Master of the Officio Assassinorum from the what was it called? Schola Progenium. It's basically an orphan school. Your parents got murdered by demons or something, you get sent to this and you get trained to be whatever.
Yeah, okay, why not?
Drop troop, an inquisitor,
It's a harsh
maybe
word,
even,
why not?
maybe you get a blank gene and you get thrown into the Sisters of Silence, or sometimes you just disappear. When you are taken, however, you go to one of 4 temples because the Assassinorum works in the temple style of things.
Of course they do.
These temples are the Vindicare, Caluxus, Calidus, and Eversor temples. Let's start with the Vindicare. I'm far away. I've been sitting here for 3 weeks. Poof! The Vindicare temple is the main sniper.
Yeah, sniper. I'm sorry. Yeah, he already said it, but yeah, I thought so too. Like that sniper, like you have to wait and lie down for a week and then you have to take the shot and not miss. That's like, must be very hard to be sniper.
Based temple. Gigantic sniper rifles for all these assassins. Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot and sit there, eye and scope, for weeks, waiting for their perfect target, taking people out from literal miles away after extremely long time periods. The Vindicare Temple is about precise, perfect aim. There have been reports of Vindicares being able to single out particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away.
Wow,
Temples
that's
in the head,
wow.
the jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot. Time is done. Packs them up. The Calidus
let's go
Temple,
home, mates.
however, is a lot more about shape-shifting and deviant. It's mostly a female-based one, at least it seems to be. And this allows a lot of
I mean, yeah, with this
body
design, with
augmentation
this personality,
for
why
certain
not?
individuals
Yeah.
to be able to kind of transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will end up
Sounds a
taking
bit
missions that
like,
take them years, 2-3 years,
face
to
dancers.
infiltrate a heretical group and slowly work their way up.
Okay, now here she's infiltrating Taos, I think. So yeah.
Just to get enough time to put a bullet into the main target's head and then escape unharmed. Or become the main target and sabotage it from within. These are all completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between.
Yeah.
And lots of drawings. Lots of drawings.
Okay,
The Eversor
yeah.
Temple.
Oh god, he's gonna get to Slanesh and stuff. He will probably show drawings there as well. Let's not kid ourselves.
One. The Eversor Temple is about when you don't want anything to come back alive, friend or foe. You want it all dead.
Okay.
And Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing of just making you forced to watch never-ending pain and misery.
Oh, great.
And psycho conditioning, I guess is the term. And then they pump you full of tons of psychedelic drugs and they cryo-freeze you. And then they drop you in an area where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost full.
Oh, it's so mean, it's so random. You drop this guy and he's gonna... Yeah, no, let's not talk about it.
Of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs.
Won't he also
And you
attract
just
demons with
go
that?
to town. Yeah, if you don't care if anyone comes back alive. You're like, all right, lost cause. Send them in. Finally, there's the most bizarre temple, the Caluxus Temple. The
What is
Caluxus
that
assassins are feared even among the other temples. So that blank gene, the people will go to the Caluxus Temple with this as well. And this is where they can harness that to be massively anti-psyker or even just anti-regular people. They are seen with extreme fear and distrust among many, many people. They are described by the Eldar by quote as being pure evil. Imagine that.
Wow. So if the elders say that, but I mean from their perspective that makes sense because the elder are this Psyker race, so of course if someone is anti-Psyker, they will call them evil.
Uncomfortable feeling from that blank gene I mentioned, and then imagine them being taught and given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally regular people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a psyker, oh no, the sheer presence
you
of
will
a
probably
Caluxus
have your head
assassin
pop.
is enough for you to tear your skin off. You will rather gouge your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person. The Caluxus assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice.
That is so effed up.
The motto of that temple is, "That which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear."
Yeah, it's very Lovecraftian. Very, very Lovecraftian.
Now, for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what Imperium faction you are. And
that's
they
cool.
do a lot of work for themselves, but at the same time, they're very specialized and require a lot of finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to, though. You want to cause some distortion and weird stuff, you take a Calidus. You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversor. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicare, and if you have a lot of Psychers, Caluxus. It's a nice little, like,
That's
jack
very
of all
cool.
trades
I
if you
like
have a
that.
specific thing you want to kill. And you get to choose which is really fun. But now, let's talk about the last human faction. We can round this video out before we do part 2. The Inquisition. We have a
Inquisition.
lot to talk about with them.
On the subject of heresy!
Oh boy. Where do I even begin with the Inquisition? Take every secret police you can think of. The KGB, the Gestapo, the
just
CIA,
so fun, I
FBI,
like
any
that.
of these people. And then mark it up by about 10 and give them the most power in the entire Imperium. No, you know what? How about this? This right here, it's not just a quote. This is the imperial motto, the motto of the Inquisition. I apologize for my bad pronunciation. Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing.
Innocentia nihil probat. That's probably how they would say it in Latin, but yeah, innocence proves nothing. I mean, fits an Inquisition. It's pretty dark.
The most powerful organization in the Imperium, the secret police, their #1 motto is innocence proves nothing. The Inquisition goes
Pretty
around
bad.
like the secret police or like detectives to find issues in the Imperium. And they have different ordos depending on which one we're talking about. The Ordo Hereticus, the Ordo Xenos, the Ordo Malleus, for instance, and a whole bunch of other ones. Hereticus is obvious, they deal with heretics.
Yeah.
Xenos tries to find alien threats,
Of
and
course.
Malleus is demons. They all have different specializations in what they're trying to go for as this Inquisitor. And that's
So they are like exorcists. At least the ones that go after demons, I guess.
they're called Inquisitors. Each of them, as an Inquisitor, has their own free reign to do as they wish.
the frig
They
is
have a
that,
ship
dude?
And a crew, and they go out to find problems and interrogate people a lot. They are above the law in every
Oh, I like the church
department
thing.
over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might argue against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them as Inquisitors. They are looking to investigate and figure out coups and cults and demonic incursions and possible Xenos issues like gene stealers or a new threat coming into
Gene stealers were the Tyranid ones that, like, blended into the world, right?
an area. They're about learning that stuff and actually doing detective work. And memes aside, they're pretty good at it. The Inquisition having all of this power does make them a little bit power hungry and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad thing, but most of them are pretty good at their job. And they spend a lot of time being very diligent to make sure that all of these leads they follow are proper and correct. They're basically space detectives with just enormous power and sometimes a bit of a power complex. And we haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet. Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit to be saved. I deem that this planet is demon infested.
Yeah, okay.
And taking it back
So I
will
think I know
cost
that
too many
already. It's just
resources and
nuking
not
that
worth
planet or
it.
something.
I have now committed Exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire Imperium planet, as it is unfit to take and better to be destroyed than allow the enemy to hold it. This can mean saturation bombardment. This can mean cracking the planet's core and breaking it apart. Doesn't matter.
This
Render
means
this
sending the
planet
Tyranids there, luring them there.
inhospitable to all life. Yes, the innocence proves nothing people are the only people who can choose this planet must die in its entirety. Yeah, you're playing the villain. Now, it is memed a lot,
Yeah.
but most Inquisitors are very rare to do Exterminatus. Exterminatus is a very crazy thing. There's only so many worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them.
I mean, there are 100 millions of worlds in the galaxy alone, so I don't know.
Naturally, with the memes aside, there are some people who are a little bit rough on this one. But most Inquisitors
Okay,
generally
you
don't
showed a
like
name.
to
I
do
didn't know that
Exterminatus
name.
but
We will
it is
find
an
out.
option they have, and it's a crazy option when you think about it. Secret Police Inquisition are unfortunately not represented on the tabletop very much. You generally kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options there and some side content, but they're not really fleshed out.
So you can, in your army, so you have spots to fill with special, like, do you have like 15 special unit spots and 20 foot soldier spots and 4 tank spots, and you can put in whatever you want from that army? Or what is it? Like, that sounds weird, I don't know.
Out very well, and personally they need a lot more stuff put in there, and they really need a lot more effort put into them, and they're not quite where I want them to be. Overall, the Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well, because it's a little bit hard to talk about a big story of a whole bunch of space marines killing something, right? It's just a big battle story. It's not as interesting. Having that intrigue
you can make
and
that
that
interesting.
moral dilemma that an Inquisitor has makes for a lot better media. And honestly, the more people do it, I think it's better, because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grimdarkness. And wow, we just finished the humans, all right?
That's
Come
so
back to
cool. That
part
was a
2,
very,
where we
very
talk
good
about
video.
Chaos and Xenos,
Like, I
because
completely
we got
misjudged
to
him,
talk about the
I
4
think,
Chaos
with
Gods
the
and all
weird jokes he had in the
Chaos
other.
Marine Legions and the Tau and the Necrons and the Orcs, and oh boy, we got a lot. I'll see you in part 2.
Yeah, we will do part 2. I really like this. Like, I learned new stuff. I learned more new stuff than I thought as well. I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, so that was cool. That was very good. Like, I think on some one or two things, I was like, are you sure this is the way? But I mean, in general, I got the gist. Like, many things I already knew were like refreshed, and that's why I watched this as well. I like his style, I like his presentation. He seems to be a very, very nice dude as well. Like, I really like him. I just don't know what happened to him in the other video. In the other video, he was so different. But in this one, I really liked what he did very much. And I like this enthusiasm for the tabletop as well. Like, that was so fresh. I like the way he did the poems or the lore bits. I like the way he talked about the armies, even though I have no clue still what that means. But about the tabletop stuff, so I really, really liked his enthusiasm for the game and for everything. And yeah, this was a great recap for the humans. I learned additional stuff, and yeah, so there will be apparently part 2. I didn't know this. Like, I knew it was part 2 when I clicked the video, but I didn't plan on doing 2 parts. But I will do 2 parts now. I don't even know if I cut so much. Yeah, I will probably cut some stuff out of this one, but because I wasn't reacting that much. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. That was a cool refresher. Next time we will see his take on the other races, and we can talk more about that. And yeah, so anyway, thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider liking, subscribing, and comment on what you thought about this video. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you soon. Bye.